All right, so in these notes, we're going to be looking at correlation. And the big thing here is, so this is from your syllabus 4.2, students need to be able to make the distinction between correlation and causation. So let's talk about those things. Correlation refers to the relationship between variables. So is there a relationship or not? And we talk about correlation using direction, linearity, strength, outliers, and causation. So causation is something that comes under correlation. And what causation is if a change in one causes the change in the other. So just because there's a relationship doesn't mean that the two variables are related to each other. But if one variable causes a change, we call it a causal relationship, or we say that there's causation. But correlation does not mean causation. However, the other way, causation would mean correlation. Okay, so for each correlation below, we're going to talk about direction, strength, linearity, and outliers. So direction is either going to be positive, negative, or does not exist. So that means looking from left to right. So this is looking at direction from left to right. So going left to right on here, I see that it's somewhat positive. So my direction is going to be positive. Over here, left to right, I'm definitely negative. This one is very positive. Looking at this one, it's so hard to tell. I would say that this one doesn't really exist. So DNE for does not exist. Definitely negative. And direction here, definitely positive. In fact, those look like the same picture. All right, strength. So how strong, moderate, or weak is the connection? So here, this is pretty weak. These points are not close to each other at all. So strength of this one I would say is weak. This one, the points are sort of close to each other, so moderate. Here our points are really close to each other, so this is strong. This one, we said there's no relationship, so it's very weak. Here we could still say that this is strong because this is going to go in with my outliers. So I'm going to circle this as an outlier. So if we ignore that outlier, it's a very strong connection. And on this one's the same, so I'm not going to write on that one anymore. Linearity. Are they connected by a line? If we try to connect them, would it make a line? So really for all of these all sort of look linear. If it doesn't look linear, see, I don't have a picture of one. So maybe let's change this one. The opposite of linear would be if we had points that made a curve. So if I connected those, I would have a curve. But otherwise, these are all linear. This one barely, but still linear. So linear, linear, linear. That one's neither. That's not a line, that's not a curve. And that's again because there's no connection. Linear. This one is non-linear. If we look at the purple. So maybe I should change that to be purple. Okay, and then we circled the outliers that we saw. So that's the basic idea of correlation. We use direction, strength, linearity, and outliers to describe them.